Welcome to the Movie Magnet Podcast.
I'm Ilono,
And I'm Fali.
and today we're going to analyze what's happened in the TV show Severance Season 2, Episode 4. So basically, the episode starts with Irving, and we hear an elevator ding sound. But
Yep.
unlike the previous episode, he's outside right now and covered in snow, and he's
Yeah.
literally standing on the ice. So he seems paranoid, and he hears Mark's voice, who's calling out to him, saying that there's a way up to the cliff where he's standing,
Mm-hmm.
and he's asking Irving to follow along and then reach him. So Irving goes to on his way to Mark. He encounters Helly, and both of them go
Oh.
to Mark. And then after that, we see Dylan making an appearance as well. So
Okay.
all four of them are gathered together on the cliff, and they see a television or something that looks to be a television where Mr. Milkchick, their boss, uh, makes an appearance. So apparently, they are on an outbow, which is an outdoor retreat team building occurrence. It's kind of like a team building activity people really have in an office. So I guess it's like a field trip or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So, and this whole place that's pretty looks really cold. It's supposed to be a Dieter Regan National Park or something like that.
Yeah.
And apparently, we have to the main characters have to go towards Scissors Cave to know what's in Appendix 4 of what Kier Egan wrote. So apparently, Appendix 4 is kind of forbidden on the severed
In a
floor, so
severed floor,
nobody,
yeah.
yeah, and then nobody knows like what's exactly in it. So Milchik is right. Follow, follow the help, quote unquote help you get to reach Scissors Cave to get to the appendix.
Okay.
Now and then they observe a robot-looking Mark and robot or animatronics looking Mark pointing towards the Scissors Cave. So I have a question. What do you
Yeah.
think about this robot and animatronics looking creature? What do you think it might be?
Well, without watching the rest of the episode, I think it's their doppelganger.
No,
Like,
but the thing is, we watched the episode and I don't think we have an answer regardless. So
okay. Well, they look like our characters, but they look different for me.
yes, I have a theory regarding this. I
Oh.
think they might be like a test subject for Lumen, and maybe
Oh.
like a pre like a version that is previous to probably Miss Casey, because they kind of
Oh.
don't seem to portray any emotions. Like in
Yeah.
my head, right? In my head, these animatronics or robotic creatures are like number one in terms of like no emotions, and then the next level would be Miss Casey, and then after that would be our employees who have like
Oh.
emotions and stuff. So
So
if
you
this is my theory,
do you think they were made by Lumon to
exactly.
replace our MDR
Or yeah, they're trying
people?
to test something. Basically, is what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, what do you think about this whole scene in general?
Oh, well, it was a heavy introduction where we're introduced to new lore
Mm-hmm.
about a new Egan called Dieter.
Yes. So, Dieter Egan is revealed to us that he's the twin of Kier Egan, which is quite a surprising information actually.
Yeah, he wasn't even mentioned in season 1. And now,
Exactly. We just all of a sudden get this name called Dieter Egan.
yeah, new character.
My expectation for this episode wasn't even close to this, because usually all of our episodes previously was mostly the outies location, or either if it's the innies, it's always inside the building.
Yeah, yeah. This episode, I was surprised to find the innies outside.
Actually, you know what? I feel like since this whole park is named after Dieter Egan, it may be part of Lumen Control. I would
Oh,
think so.
it could be,
It
yeah.
could be, yeah, because all This
Well,
Egan name is usually connected to Lumen, right?
isn't their whole town called Kier, like the name of the founder?
Oh wait, really the town is called Cure? I didn't know that.
I I I just read it somewhere. I forgot where.
Ah, okay. I'm not sure if the town is called Cure, but it would make sense, I guess.
Yeah, that.
Because we hear this name too often, and I guess they're making a comparison with Cure and Jesus.
Oh.
Because like you get all these paintings of his life and stuff like that. So
Okay. So that's a
okay,
good comparison to make.
yeah.
So,
So
so
where
my
else?
I have a question now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think they got the outies to agree to this snowy excursion?
Yeah, I have the same question.
Yeah, right? How? Did
So
they kidnap the
basically,
outies?
this whole thing is apparently a 2-day retreat. So how did they make them agree to like go outside for 2 whole days? So you're basically working for 2 whole days, right?
Yeah. Or maybe they got kidnapped during their elevator ride and then transferred to Dieter National Park.
Oh, that would actually make sense.
Oh, I also love the elevator ding whenever we see our innies.
Yeah, because in the opening episode, right, whenever this opened, I really thought Irving was the outie because we've never seen Innies outside. So
Yeah.
the ding gives us a clue that it's actually an Innie.
Yeah.
But I have another observation in this whole
Yes.
episode. Like if the ones previous to this, Irving has always been pretty suspicious about Helena. Sorry,
Uh,
Helena or
Heli.
Helly.
Heli R.
Yeah, so he really thinks that it's not Helly, and there have been a lot of theories saying that it's not Helly, and maybe it's her
Yeah.
outie Helena. So I'm on that boat.
Yeah, you suss it out pretty
Yeah,
earlier.
because she was acting all weird. Like she was weirdly comforting Irving before this episode, and which she's never done. So
Oh, I
I
didn't
still
miss
think,
that.
I mean, I think it's Helena, but like Irving really picks up on the smallest clues. Like
Oh.
he's really observational, contrary to what people think. Uh, People as in me, because I didn't really like any Irving.
I still think it was Heli R up to this episode.
That makes it more fun actually.
Yeah, we have different observations or theories.
Yeah, okay. So let's move on to the next scene.
Okay, any more uh, analysis or comments about this scene?
Another information about the scene is that Appendix 4 was apparently dictated by Kier in the final days of his life.
Oh,
Uh, so is it actually legit? I don't know. The legitimacy of this appendix may be questionable.
yeah, it's still weird.
I mean, the legitimacy of the whole
Yeah, the
lumen is questionable, but
well,
regardless, this appendix is quite strange. So that was another comment from me.
it's normal because even the Bible has passages on it that isn't in the official Bible.
Ah, okay.
So
Okay,
this
makes
is just
sense.
like that.
Yeah,
The
makes
appendix
pretty
isn't in the handbook.
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, next scene. Okay, in the next scene, we see the MDR innies travel towards Scissor Cave, where they find the the appendix, the fourth appendix. And in the appendix, they detail the story of Kier's twin brother, Dieter Egan, who wanted to be a pauper in the woods in Woe's Hollow. Then they travel next to Woe's Hollow. Here we have scenes of Irving getting suspicious of Helly and Mark getting closer to each other, and where they come across a dead seal or a very large mammal. It wasn't clear. They say it's a seal, but I don't know. And then they come across a waterfall where they see Mr. Milchick and the four doppelgangers or robots, as Mr. Milchick tells them, and that when Mr. Milchick is revealed, Irving cries out that they're starving and hungry. So Mr. Milchick leads them to the campsite in Bose Hollow, where they see a
Okay.
roaring fire and tents. Okay, what do you think of this scene? It's a pretty short scene where we just see them traveling.
Yeah, so basically, as a continuation from the first scene, Irving is becomes more and more sus of Helly, and he lets Mark know this that he doesn't trust her on the way, and Mark just dismisses him, saying that it's just Irving being weird or whatever. And
That's
then they,
true.
and then what do you think about the random seal placed um, out of nowhere here?
It was weird. I still have no idea why they put a seal
So
in
I
there.
think it was placed intentionally by Mr. Milchick or Lumen to show them that if they stray from the path of Lumen, that's what is waiting for them. Like basically, this is the harsh reality of life, and Lumen will always protect and provide. Like he stresses. So I guess it's like a cult mentality manipulation tactic, which is made to for the followers of a cult to stay in it. So basically, in this case, they're just stressing this so that the Lumen employees will be encouraged to stay with Lumen.
Okay, but why a seal though? It could be another mammal, a large
Yeah,
mammal.
yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, good point. Like it could be any other animal, but I'm not sure why it's a seal.
Yeah, I'm still not sure why put there in the first place.
I mean, but I'm pretty sure it's like at least it's at least part of it is like a manipulation tactic because Mr. Milchick like really stresses that Lumen is always here to protect and provide. Uh,
Or or it could be like a warning sign from Lumon,
as in,
as in you'll be dead, like this seal if you disobey Lumon.
okay, that's a harsher thing, but yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it
Yeah.
could go both ways. Yeah. What do you think about a random book in Scissor's cave? Like,
Well, as someone who likes bookbinding, it was a
uh-huh.
really good bounded book.
I mean, nice looking book, I guess.
What do you think about the Kier twin wanting to live in the woods as a pauper?
I'm not sure, but if I take it literally, I guess he doesn't want. He's not too ambitious, and he just wants to live like
Live.
he is. But because I don't think Kier is from a rich family,
Yeah.
as far as I remember. So I guess he does. He doesn't have a lot of aspirations. If Dieter is actually real,
Yeah. That's also what I think. He just wants to live in the woods without any responsibility of being someone in society. So,
of being somebody like overachieving, I guess.
yeah, someone who works. Oh, do you remember what the four tempers are
I just remember Wo because we get to see that in this.
in this
In
episode?
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
let me see if I can
Okay.
search it up.
That's one of the one aspect last season where I didn't listen that much.
So the four tempers are Woe, Frolic, Dread, and Malice.
Whoa, folly?
No, no. Woe, Frolic, Dread,
Oh,
and Malice.
okay, okay.
So I guess Woe makes an appearance in the future scenes in this episode, but I have a theory that each of the four tempers
The
represents each employee.
Oh, okay, that's a new theory. You haven't shared that one before.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll expand on that a little later, but because there are exactly four, right?
Yeah,
Um, and in the Lumen office in the previous episodes, we've seen like Egan taming like the four tempers. One of
tempers.
them is a goat, basically.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I mean, that image always sticks out to me.
Maybe the four tempers are four departments in the severed section of MDR. The mammalian is the goat.
Oh, that makes sense. But we only know three departments now.
Yeah. So
So
what?
let's see. I guess we're gonna get more departments soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay, so let's move on to the next scene.
Okay,
Uh,
next scene.
so while they reach the campsite, the juxtaposition of what they just saw, a basically dead seal in the wilderness, and a luxurious campsite which is blue in color, which represents blue for macro data refinement. It's pretty luxurious, and they have four exact tents. And while they reach the location, they all get settled in their respective tents, and then Helly visits Irving, and she makes a weird snow seal in an attempt to convince or console Irving or something, or try to manipulate him.
Or
But
maybe try to cheer Irving up.
okay, yeah, if you are on the heli boat, right? So heli
Yeah.
is trying to cheer Irving up, and then Irving does not respond to this well, and then he just outright asks her who was the
Yeah.
gardener, and then she gets spooked out, and you see a subtle change in her expression when she realizes that Irving will never believe her. That's a really good acting from Brit Lower. So,
Yeah.
next time you watch the episode, please observe that.
Okay.
That's a really nice transition that I liked. So moving on to the next scene, all of them gather together, and then Mr.
Oh,
Milchick reads the fourth appendix to them.
this is
Uh,
my favorite part of the
uh,
scene.
yeah, this is the favorite part. So, what is the fourth appendix? It's basically uh, so both Kier and Dieter are inside the jungle right now, and they're making jokes, and they're near Woz Hollow, which is like a waterfall basically. And
Yeah.
what happens suddenly is that Dieter's eyeball socket comes out, and
Yep.
pus oozes from it, and his hair comes out of his hand, and then detached from his head, and then this it's a really weird fourth appendix. And then Kier really gets spooked out by this, and then he just runs away, supposedly runs away from Dieter, and his screaming voice is the screaming voice becomes less and less prominent, and he crosses Wo's hollow, and he meets Wo there. So this is where the fourth appendix ends, and Wo is described as a gaunt bride with
Mm-hmm.
also no hair. So that's a striking similarity, because we just heard that Dieter has hair
Yeah.
detached from him, and then he's almost at the state of dying, or has already died. And now we meet Wo, who is like a gaunt bride, and she blames Kia, saying that it's all your fault that Dieter has become like this. So this is where the fourth appendix ends. So I really thought that this whole appendix was a whole bunch of crazy and nonsense.
We all think that.
Yeah. So what do you think about this appendix in general?
Oh, the appendix. I
Yeah.
think it's how Kier killed his brother Dieter.
That's a really good theory, because I really did not think so. I just took it at face value at first, because I thought he got some disease or something.
Because how would his eye pop out if not Kier popping it out for him?
Okay, yeah, that's a really good possible explanation. But this whole the way they describe Dieter, right?
Yeah.
It really doesn't seem like he's real. He either represents the forest or something like that.
Uh,
Because
yeah, that's what they say.
yeah, because it says pus is coming out from his eyeballs and stuff. So that kind of happens with trees and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, the way they were describing it. I
So
mean, but I mean,
you.
I'm in two minds of this because Kier really literally stressed that he shared a womb with Dieter, but then whenever he mentions Dieter in terms of the forest, it's all like a metaphorical comparison.
Okay, so for you, it's a metaphor for Dieter being the forest, the trees.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm in two minds of this. So like for
Okay,
now,
so
let's just take it as trees, I guess.
okay, so for me, it's Dieter. It's Kier killing Dieter and running screaming into the waterfall to drown out his screams. Or
Oh, okay. That actually connects well to the next scene. Good one, good
yeah,
one. I really like this. Uh, so and then basically continuing, circling back to the scene, Helly really laughs this out, and then says that it's a bunch of nonsense,
oh
and it's
yeah,
just basically a person masturbating, and then
yeah,
they getting punished for it. So
yeah.
I kind of picked this up, but I really didn't think that why would somebody get punished for it, and who are they getting punished by?
That's
What do
right.
you think?
Mr. Milchick was particularly harsh in this scene.
I guess he's a firm believer of all these principles and whatnots. I actually do believe that he really thinks all this is true, so I guess that's why he was being harsh. But I don't know, like, what do you think about Helly's explanation of this fourth appendix?
Oh, I completely agree with Helly.
I mean, I
It's
do
just a
agree it's like a
guy
bunch of nonsense.
masturbating.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but why would he get punished, and by whom is he getting punished?
Well,
Is my question.
it's in my theory, it's Kier punishing Dieter for masturbating.
Ah, okay. Okay, okay, got it, got it.
So Kier killed Dieter because he masturbated. Just uh,
Okay, this is
yeah.
funny. Okay, I like this, I like this. We're combining all the theories to make a plausible explanation out of this nonsense.
That's right.
Okay, so like Helly makes a joke and everybody laughs except for Irving because
Except
he's
for
still
Irving.
sus. He's still sus and he thinks Helly is Helena, or he doesn't know
Oh
Helena's
wait,
name.
his
He thinks Helly is an outie. He is not. He doesn't think Helly is at her right mind at least.
no, at this scene, Irving still doesn't know she's
Ah,
an
okay.
outie. He's just suspicious that Helly
It's not Helly.
didn't no, that she didn't tell them what she saw during the outside.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. So Irving is still sus about Helly because she literally did not reply to his question when he asked about the gardener.
Yep.
Um, so he doesn't laugh at her joke, and he continues to push this question in front of everybody, saying that what was the gardener doing, what was he wearing and stuff. And then Helly just responds saying that you're just asking me all these defensive questions because you're sad that Bert isn't here. So at the end of this conversation, all of them just get up and get angry and leave. That's the
Yeah.
end
That
of
was
this
a
whole.
low blow for Helly.
Yes. So like
There's just some things you don't say to someone who lost someone.
exactly. So the last thing he saw before coming back to Lumen was knocking on Bert's door, and then she just goes on and questions him about it while not answering his simple question. So that was not that was not the right move to do whatsoever. So what do you think about Miss Huang here? Because she's also out of nowhere and she's a child, so she's literally outside for 2 days as a child. So
Well, are we sure she's a child? She might just
yeah, I
look
mean that's been
very young.
established, right? That's been quite nicely established.
Let's agree to disagree on Miss Wang's true age.
Sure, sure, sure.
For the next scene, it's a steamy scene where we see Mark going into Helly's tent after Irving storms off. They end up having what else? A deep conversation about sex. So they had sex, and Helly tells Mark that she's ashamed of who she is on the outside, which is odd because is what she's saying outside what she did to Irving, or is it something else? And then Mark has this brief vision of his outie's wife, Gemma, in place of Helly inside the tent.
This is really funny. This is my favorite part of the whole episode.
Yeah, me too. Where Mark sees Gemma.
Yes.
Okay. And then we then turn to Irving, who starts roaming around the forest calling out Mr. Milchick and Miss Wong for some reason. But then he accidentally fell down and rests on a nearby rock where he dreams about a snowy MDR room with visions of birth and the Tempest Woe. He is also dreaming about refining numbers, but then the numbers suddenly transformed into the letters EAGAN.
Ooh.
That spells Egan.
Yeah, so what do you think about this whole dream sequence?
So, okay, so Irving first, or Helly, or Mark and Helly first.
Let's do Mark and Helly first.
Okay. So why is it your favorite scene? Is it because it's a sex scene?
No, it's not. No. Yeah, I couldn't care less about that. But it was so funny because Mark is finally getting reintegration signs, and then he's seeing Gemma in place of Helly, because outie Mark's wife, or ex-wife, who's supposedly dead, is Gemma, right? And
Yeah.
now he's getting visions of that. So I guess it tells me that Mark has already been reintegrated, and he's getting signs of getting his outie's memories back. But my question is, why has not Mark not remembered a lot more about his outie? Like, I feel like all this whole retreat takes quite a while, right? So he should have
Yeah.
already started remembering stuff.
Yeah, we talked about that briefly. That the reintegration isn't immediate. It takes time. Like how PT still gets visions after being reintegrated.
Yes, but PT gets visions, but he already remembers both of his lives, right?
I think so.
So
But
I
it
mean,
may
that's,
take time.
yeah, that's up in the air right now. But I
Yeah.
guess they showed this whole vision thing to tell us that probably Mark has already reintegrated, or maybe Mark's reintegration was a failure. Maybe
Maybe.
that was your theory, right? Like, I really like this. Maybe because if you're half reintegrated, that's why
Maybe
you
because
cannot remember anything, right?
yeah.
So yeah, this is I like the theory you brought up here. And now going back to Irving's dream.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. So
so he basically sees Bert and the Tempest War. Why do you think War and Irving are related here?
well, it might do with the meaning of woe.
War means sadness, so I guess
Yeah.
I guess Irving is sad that he
Sad
lost Bert.
because he lost birth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
War
yeah,
looks like
it's
a knocked down version of Gollum.
yeah, it's one of the rare horror movie esque scenes in Severance.
Yeah, it was quite funny because Wo and Gollum make a very good pair together. So what do you think about this whole MDR number sequence where all the numbers suddenly turn into letters and they spell Egan?
I think it was Irving's self telling him that someone is an Egan, or the name Egan is important for him in this moment in time.
Let me tell you what I think about it.
Okay.
Because we always nobody knows what MDR exactly does.
I didn't think it was connected to their refinement. I
I,
just
I, I
think it
think
was
so
something.
because they always feel some feeling while sorting out their numbers into their bins, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like they subconsciously see words or letters through these numbers, and they're kind of sorting those out.
So you think this is similar to how they refine the numbers in MDR? They see the
Exactly.
letters.
Yes, yes. So I do feel like it's connected to how they do the job, even though they don't know what they're doing.
Well,
Something tells them that it's like some bad word or bad number or whatever that is, and they have to sort it out. So that's what
uh,
I think about it. Not in this, I mean, not, I'm just talking about generally what they do. In this scenario, I guess it's also a mix of subconsciousness.
yeah.
Uh, but in general, I feel like whatever file they're working on, the numbers kind of turn into letters, and then the letters tell them something, like maybe a word or something that they like or they don't like, and that's how they sort these numbers.
Okay, so for me, it's just his self telling him that the name Egan is important in the scenario. For me, watching that episode, it may be connected to both Kier and Dieter. So I wasn't, because for me, Helly was still Helly for me
Ah,
when
okay,
watching
okay.
this episode.
Okay, that's a pretty nice insight. Because I kind of knew that Helly was not Helly.
Yeah. For me,
uh,
it wasn't like that.
yeah, okay. So he kind of connected the dots that Helly and Egan have
And
something to do with each other.
yeah.
So basically, we're moving on to the final scene of this
Yep.
episode.
The
So
final
Irving wakes
scene.
up out of nowhere and starts running towards the waterfall, which is Woz Hollow, and then he sees that Helly is also there. So he confronts her, saying that what she said last night was really cruel, and Helly was never
It's never
cruel.
cool.
And at this point, Irving is pretty sure that Helly is not herself. So he asks her who has the power to send an outie into the severed floor. So I guess that question answers
So
itself.
yeah, that blew my mind while watching the show, the episode. What? How did he know that she's an outie? Because in my
I
mind,
mean,
it was
because
still Heliar
uh,
trying to cover up that she's Helena Egan.
because she was always trying to be overly friendly with him, even
Yeah,
in the previous episodes, and she refused to answer the gardener questions multiple times. So I guess
yeah,
at this point, Irving didn't have anything else to at least hold his judgment, because he tried asking her 3 times
yeah.
about the gardener.
But still, she didn't answer.
Yes, and then once he figured it out that
That
Egan and Helly might be connected, so he just goes for it. And now he proceeds to drag Helly and then drown her,
um,
uh,
yeah.
and then calls out to Mr. Milchick saying that it's an outie, and
Yeah,
Helly is a mole, Helly is an outie,
it's still
and if
it's still weird for me that out of all the people Irving calls out to, it's Mr. Milchick.
because he's the only one who can bring the actual Helly back, right?
That's
He has
true.
the power, because
Yeah.
in season one he knew how to activate the overtime contingency. So I guess Irving was pretty sure that he there's some mechanics to this that they're blocking Helly from coming here. So he was like, if you don't get Helly back, I'm going to drown her. And until this while, Helly has been uh, pretty quiet. She's not really acted out as much, except for being cruel towards Irving, saying that he was sad because Bert's not here. So I guess that's one of her biggest moments of a mess up. So like she continues acting, and then she couldn't take it anymore, and her life is about to go. So she was
Yeah,
like,
so
finally, Seth, do it. So,
Seth, do it.
and this is
Well,
like the biggest clue, because nobody
yeah.
knows Mr. Milchick's
Nope.
first name, right?
Yep. No one knows. They just call him Mr. Milchick. The only
Yeah,
people who know who Seth is the outies.
exactly. And when Dylan's wife tried to tell him that, tell the Ini that Miss Huang really said it's confidential information. So
Yeah.
we kind of know that no Inis know Seth's name. So now it's been confirmed that this is actually Helly's outie,
Helena.
basically
Helena
Helena
R.
Egan. Yeah. So they finally reactivate Helly, and this is the first time we see her in this entire season. So, what do you think about this whole confrontation scene?
Uh, it was mind blown. I really didn't think. I really think Irving was having a breakdown until Helly told Seth to do it.
Oh, but didn't you get suspicious when Helly did not answer the guard no questions?
No, I didn't. I was
Uh,
still. I
what do you think her
was.
motivation was?
Well, I think her motivation was still covering for Helly R, knowing that she is an Egan on the outside.
Ah, okay, makes sense.
Because if they
So
know that.
you felt like she was actually ashamed of who she was on the outside, so she was not willing to tell.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay,
So
makes
I
sense.
guess, well, if the Innies know she's an Egan, they might use it for
Against
their
her?
own.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
against her.
Okay, yeah. Actually, yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have been on the heli bandwagon,
Yeah, you should
but
have been. It's more mind blowing.
exactly, but Brit Lau was acting sus, and I mean,
But you suss it
to her
out.
credit, right? To her credit, she was
Yeah.
purposely acting sus, and I caught up on it because Helly's pretty fearless and she doesn't really care. She always fights, right? So
Yeah.
in my mind, it was like if she knows that she's an Egan, she can cause a lot more damage being an innie, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then the only thing she did for the 4 episodes is just follow Mark around. I don't think she would have done that. She would have actually had a concrete plan and then executed it, even if
Mm,
she did not tell the others.
that's true. Like
So
how
that was
she.
my biggest clue. Yeah,
Yeah, like how she gave that speech about the Innies getting tortured.
exactly. So she's like a leader of the group, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
I would
yeah.
have
So that
loved
was
Helly R being in the MDR room plotting against Helena.
exactly, exactly. That's what I was expecting, but I didn't get anything. So I
Yeah.
was like, no, something's
I
wrong.
should
So
have known.
I
I,
was
sh-
telling you. I told you.
I should have known that because they didn't plan on what to do with Helena. Wait, then why did Helly R try to conceal that she was Helena Egan?
She did not. This is her first appearance
Oh
in the
yeah,
entire
this is the
season.
first time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Uh, this
Yeah, so like
series.
it's so good.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
s-
good.
Mr. Milchick deactivates the gas go block or whatever that's
Oh
supposed to
yeah,
be.
the Glasgow block. It's named after it. It has a similar name to the Glasgow comma scale.
Uh-huh.
It's the Glasgow comma scale is used for people who has head injuries, if they're brain dead or not, conscious or not, drowsy.
Oh. Oh, it actually
There.
perfectly connects to the Severance theme because the procedure and how people get severed is inserting a chip on the head. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess the name connects pretty well to it.
Yeah, they used it to connect it to a switch. So the
Mm-hmm.
consciousness of Heli R would be turned on or whatever.
Oh, that's a nice explanation. And after all this fiasco, Mr. Milchick is rightfully pissed at Irving,
Yeah.
and he
Of course.
immediately dismisses him
Well, of
from the
course,
mill.
it's attempted murder on not just anyone. It's the next Egan CEO.
Exactly. And then he says that this is his last day working, and none of the innies are allowed to communicate with him, and he's not allowed to communicate with them as well.
Yeah.
And Dylan, this whole time, he was like, "Oh, sorry, I did not believe." You." He literally was. He did not do anything this episode.
Yeah. At
He's
least.
just in his own world because he got to meet his Outie's wife last episode.
Yeah.
So he's kind of in
It's
two minds. So
Yeah,
hence he did not
help.
see what Irving is trying to do
Yeah,
whatsoever.
Irving was trying to let him see what was going on, but he didn't.
But he did not, yeah.
Yeah,
And Mark was also pretty surprised because he just had sex with his outie, what, with Helena Egan. Helly's outie and not Helly.
oh, yeah. That's still weird.
Yeah, so
Is it
like Mark
considered?
did not see this coming whatsoever. He was blinded. He was
Yeah, he was so shocked.
yeah,
Did you
that's
see his
true.
expression?
Yes, yes, I did. Because until the last moment, he was thinking that Irving has lost his mind.
Yeah.
But but when Milchi
When,
gave the orders to deactivate the block, he was like, "What? What?"
yeah, he stopped. Stop calling for Irving to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where the episode ends.
Yeah,
Uh,
on Irving.
Irving says a closing final word to Mark. Dylan saying that hang in there, which is the same sentence that Dylan told him before when Irving wanted to leave Lumen because there was nothing left for him, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so he's saying the same thing to Dylan. Do you think this is going to be the end of any Irving?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
Cause
don't. I wouldn't want it to be.
me too. But then Outie Irving has some plans on how to meet with other Severance employees. So
I mean, I'm
maybe it
pretty sure we're
is.
going to see Outie Irving, but
Yeah.
I hope
Maybe
we
it
also
is
see Inni Irving
last. Maybe it is Ini Irving's last time on
no,
screen.
no, because he literally went from a 0 to 100 in this episode,
Yeah.
and like he went for it. So he suspected it, he confirmed it, and he took action all in one episode. Like
Yeah.
that's so gutsy for her
Mm-hmm.
because if you remember it, he is the one of the most loyal employees of Lumen.
Yeah.
Before he met Bert, he would always regard Cure as and his principles as a holy grail. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so so Irv trying to murder an Egan is
Yeah,
is
is
mind-boggling.
pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really hope we see more of him because he's like
I mean,
pretty.
he can always get reintegrated.
I mean, but now that he's expelled from Lumen, I don't think there's any point because he won't have his any memories, I guess.
Oh, that's true. Wait.
Because that's what
Oh,
Mr. Milchik alluded to, right? It would be as if you never existed.
his memories are gonna be erased. Is that something Lum- Luman can do?
Why not? Because the whole point of getting severed is to work at Lumen, right?
Yeah.
So they would try to preserve their non-disclosure or whatever that is by erasing the memories of the work, I guess.
I mean, if they can erase memories, why not just erase the memories and why get us severed in the first place?
I mean, I feel like they're still testing all this out. I feel like it's not complete yet. I don't think
Yeah.
it's like an advanced stage yet. So I
But
feel
I
like they have the ability to do it, but they're not really sure like how to 100% nail it, which is probably what they're doing now.
his memories will still be intact as an innie.
Hopefully, because that would
Hopefully.
mean that we can see him again
Yeah.
at some point. So I hope that happens.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Okay,
Uh,
so
That's the end of our analysis for this episode. Stay tuned for the analysis coming up when the next episode airs this week. Thank you for listening. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. We are the Movie Magnet Podcast.
see you next episode.